You're watching the latest news from financialmirror.tv. US employers cut payrolls by 240,000 in October, much more severely than expected, while the US unemployment rate shot up to 6.5%, the highest since March 1994. October's job cuts were much worse than anticipated by Wall Street economists who had forecast a loss of 200,000. Even more strikingly, the department revised September's losses to 284,000, the highest since November 2001, just after the September terror attacks, and also revised August losses higher to 127,000. That meant 179,000 more jobs were cut in August and September than previously had been thought. In total, over the 3 months through October, 651,000 jobs have been slashed from payrolls. Barack Obama will have his campaign promises put to the test on Friday as he meets with economic advisors to discuss his transition to the White House and holds his first news conference as U.S. President-elect. Obama, who won a sweeping victory in Tuesday's election in part because of his promise to revitalize the U.S. economy, has assembled a 17-member Transition Economic Advisory Board to help him as he tries to decide who to put on his White House team and how to implement promised measures. The board includes former Treasury Secretaries Robert Rubin and Lawrence Summers, former Labor Secretary Robert Reich, Google Chairman Eric Schmidt, former Federal Reserve Chairman Paul Volcker, and billionaire Warren Buffett. After the meeting at 7:30 p.m. GMT, Obama will face the news media for the first time since Tuesday's historic win. In addition to the economy, Obama will likely face questions about who he plans to appoint to various cabinet posts and other aspects of the transition. French President Nicolas Sarkozy urged European leaders on Friday to back a common line on reforms to the global financial system ahead of the World Summit next week. British Prime Minister Gordon Brown, who like Sarkozy has urged an overhaul of the world financial bodies established after World War II, called for governments around the world to follow rate cuts with measures to bolster the economy. France is eager for Europe to make its voice heard on the international stage, believing the financial crisis has weakened the United States and provided the 27-nation EU bloc with an opportunity to bolster its influence. EU leaders will go to Washington buoyed by the belief that it was their €2.2 trillion round of bank rescues last month that helped avert a financial meltdown, sparked by a credit crunch from the United States. They are set to boil down their reform agenda to 5 key points, according to an EU paper obtained by Reuters. These are: to entrust the IMF with primary responsibility for recommending measures to restore economic confidence and for rescuing countries in trouble; to submit credit rating agencies to tighter surveillance; to harmonize accounting standards around the world; to take steps to ensure that no market segment, territory or financial institution, including hedge funds, is beyond regulation or surveillance; and to implement codes of conduct to avoid excessive risk in the financial industry, including scrutinizing executive pay. Microsoft chief executive Steve Ballmer dismissed speculation that it might still be interested in a takeover of internet firm Yahoo after a partnership between Yahoo and Google Inc. fell through this week. Microsoft abandoned an unsolicited $47.5 billion bid for Yahoo in May. The software company had been looking to fill a hole in its repertoire by acquiring an internet search engine as it battles with market leader Google. In June, Google and Yahoo announced their planned partnership, which Yahoo had struck as a way of fending off Microsoft. The two delayed implementation to allow the Justice Department to review it, but Google later said it pulled out of the deal rather than face a protracted legal fight after regulators had concerns. British mortgage bank Abbey said it would join rival Lloyds TSB in passing on the Bank of England's 1.5 percentage point rate cut in full to its variable rate customers. Abbey, owned by Spain's Banco Santander, said it would cut its standard variable rate to 5.44% from 6.94% in response to the central bank's move. The lower rate takes effect from the start of December. Abbey and Lloyds are the only two British banks so far to pass on the Bank of England rate reduction. The cut, the biggest since the central bank was made independent in 1997, is designed to stave off a deep recession triggered by the global credit squeeze. The International Monetary Fund has become even gloomier about the prospects for the world's economies. It has predicted that developed economies as a whole will shrink by 0.3% next year, having predicted growth of 0.5% less than a month ago. It would be the first time there has been an overall contraction in developed economies since World War II. Worst hits will be the UK, shrinking 1.3%, followed by Germany at 0.8%, and the US and Spain contracting by 0.7%. Emerging economies have also been downgraded, with the forecast of Chinese growth down from 9.3% to 8.5%, India down from 6.9% to 6.3%, and Russia down from 5.5% to 3.5% growth. The IMF has also cut its 2009 forecast for average oil prices from $100 to $68 a barrel, reflecting the recent slump in prices. Germany's September industrial output fell 3.6% as the global slowdown hit demand for products from the world's top exporter. The fall has raised fears that Germany, which is Europe's biggest economy, may already be in recession. Further evidence of slowing sales and production came from two of the country's biggest car makers on Friday. BMW said October sales fell by more than 8%, with just 113,005 vehicles sold compared with 123,304 in October 2007. Meanwhile, its competitor, Daimler, said that its sales in October fell 18% compared with the year before. The maker of Mercedes-Benz and Smart sold 93,800 cars worldwide last month, compared with 114,600 a year ago. Thank you for watching FinancialMirror.tv.